do you know if it's a winning proposition? How do you know if this company, this startup, is worth the money?
Unfortunately, the answer is no. I would obviously do research and try to read up on the company beforehand, but I think that first meeting is very important. And I'd say in these meetings, we as a team do a lot more listening than we do talking. So, unfortunately, we're not that good that we can spot winners. I mean, certainly if we feel that there's a lot more to the company, we pursue it more and we try to get more time with the founders. I think the few startup type projects that we have, it's really founder driven, and it's really the passion, the acumen, skill of the founders, the plan, even if it's not yet fully laid out, and the vision that they have. I think that's the main thing, and the ability to hire people too. I think having an inspiring founder who can mentor and hire the right people, I think that's also very important. But to answer your question, no. Unfortunately, no.
So when you talk to the investors, the high net worth individuals, the big companies who want to buy the startups, are they looking for are they looking at the product, the business, or are they looking at the person, the entrepreneur?
I think they look at both. I must caveat my answer with, we don't, unfortunately, these high net worth types are seldom our first port of call. Most of the startups we deal with, they do tend to be latter stage, so less startup, I guess. So we do tend to deal with more institutional type investors, and again, to answer your question, it's both. They look at the founder, but also the team that they have in place, the ability to retain and to motivate the team, things like that. The idea, I think, is important the earlier you are, but then, it's, I say, quite rare to have only one player doing one thing. So, in as much as the idea is important, at some point execution is also equally important, and being able to sort of place a bet on. Unfortunately, I'm more risk averse. Unlike the founders here, they're really tech founders. In my company is, I say, more of a consulting firm more than anything else. So, we're not going to make 100x our money, but if we were to go back to your earlier question, I started with very little. We didn't have to put as much. We basically just had enough money for a team, and some early projects were able to tie us through.
Later, I'll tell the audience the big deals that you've brokered, and they will not believe what you said.
Yeah, none of them are tech, so it's less relevant, unfortunately.
Okay, so this is, for the next round, we wanted to get the stories of the founders here. We've all heard of the garage stories. Steve Jobs started Apple in a garage. Hewlett Packard built their first equipment in a garage. Larry Page set up a search engine in a garage. So let's talk about your bootstrapping days. What's a typical startup founder's life? I'm pretty sure it's not all glamour, it's not all money. At one point you probably had to not take your own paycheck so you could pay others whom you hired. Very quickly, if you could share your experience, let's do it from Terrence all the way to the end of the line. Terrence?
Yes, before that, I just wanted to add to what Stanley mentioned a while ago that there was some talk about what do buyers or investors look at. So there's a lot of talk about founders and the product. One thing I want to add there is there's some underlying assets that founders usually aren't even aware of, right? So like for us, we're doing about in the past 12 months, we've done like 1.5 million transactions. So like studying the consumer behavior of all these spending in retail stores and offline stores, I think it's something that, aside from banks, which they cannot really use for anything, we have the ability to use that for marketing purposes. So maybe like a big conglomerate will find value in these things. So inserting our product in the whole conglomerate can really boost their current operations. So sometimes it's more to it than what a lot of people think of. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to add. So in terms of the lifestyle, no, I don't think I'm beyond that. What you mentioned, getting out of the glamour. So yeah, when especially when we got started, no, when we got started, I remember had no idea how to make a loyalty program. The idea was when we were operating Deal Does It, the company we sold, it was an online group buying site. We have all these customers and we bring them to stores, but then the merchants complain that these customers don't come back. So I had no idea how to do it, so I went to Time Zone. I went to the office of Time Zone, I knocked on their door, and I wanted to figure out how do they do their offline card when you swipe to play. So I wanted to create something like that for retail stores, and I'll be the third-party provider. So Time Zone never returned my call. I was 24 years old at that time. And yeah, from there, moving on from Time Zone, I flew to Singapore. I met these operators of loyalty programs, conglomerates. I met with a big team from the SM Advantage. And ultimately, I saw that there was no clear solution that really helped merchants in an easy way possible. So yeah, it's a lot of hustling, you hear this a lot. And finally, when you see something that works, you try to talk to people who share your vision, who can contribute, whether it's joining your team, helping you build a product, or investing money into helping you achieve your vision.
Stallion?
So for my company, unfortunately, I am an extremely cheap person. So when we started out, well, so I say before we took an office, I was working out of the house for a few months, and when it was time to hire people, it was only then that I begrudgingly took out office space. But we stick to our knitting. We don't have any admin staff. We outsource everything. All our legal work, all our accounting work, we outsource it to friendly parties, friends of friends, and things of that sort. We don't have a phone, but we do have extremely good internet, which, from our experience, is more than enough to get us by. I tell my people that all the money we save, I prefer to pay to them as bonuses rather than. I mean, the office has to be at least functional. We ascribe to the Lazard model where, unlike an investment bank, I see most investment banks will try to wow you and everything with their offices. We hardly any have clients over to our office, so that's the strategy. So I live 5 minutes away from the office, so yeah, I'll try to save on rent and all the gains, and I'd rather pay our team.
Mika?
So when you first started, although we started with a bit of, so before we started Rihanna, my partner actually has Xavier alumnus also. We were part of another startup that was